Start to record. We are not recording. Okay, tonight is February the 7th and week number 3 of CAD for Construction, spring 2024. So we are going to be covering tonight a few things, and we are going to be starting right now with actually, let me go to the doc cam here, see if we got this right here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about architectural skills. Okay, architectural and engineering skills. So first of all, what we got going here is I was talking to Evan, and he was saying that you guys actually have been using these a little bit. Is that right? You guys all pretty familiar with these? Yes, no, kind of, sort of. Okay, all right. So there's two different kinds of scales. Okay, the one is the engineering, and the other is what? It's an architect scale. That's right. So what we're going to do tonight is we're just going to do a little bit of review since you guys have already done this. I know you've done something with it, but I want to just kind of talk a little bit about it just to make sure you're familiar. And the reason why is as we're going forward, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be doing Revit, and then ultimately we're going to actually bring in topographical information underneath there. And so being able to tie it all together, know what you're looking at is important, and being able to actually measure it out with the scale is an important skill too. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. So let's do this right now. Let's do this. First of all, let me show you what this looks like right here. Now we have this, and this is actually the first house that I ever owned. Okay, this is the first house I ever owned in Madison Heights, Michigan. And we've got this right here. And you've got essentially some dimensions here. It was a narrow lot, 40 feet wide by 126 feet deep. So it's like a long, narrow lot. Now, let me just kind of show you something here, just to kind of review, and then you guys are going to kind of like work on this as well. I think you guys all have this. But what I want to do is I just want to do a little bit of practice with this. So first of all, check this out. When we're working with this right now, the first thing you have to do is when you're talking about the scale right here, there's actually 6 different scales on here. You guys don't know about those? Who can name one of the scales?
Like a 20.
A 20, that's right. And that represents, and what that means is 20 means 20 feet are represented as an inch. Okay, so you see an inch, it'll basically represent 20 feet on the plan. Okay, there's also 30, 40, 10, a few others right there, but this actually is what you use for this. Now watch this. So this one right here, you always take a look whenever you're working with a plan like this. You always look for the scale, and in this particular scale, scale is right up here. It's actually 1 to 20 feet. 1 inch equals 20 feet. So I've got that. Now what I'm going to do here, and I think you guys should be able to see this okay. Now what I've got right here is I want to pay attention to this right here. This is a 40-foot dimension right here at the top. That's a 40-foot dimension. So the first thing I do is I take my scale and I rotate it till I see 20. All right, 20 is located right there. You can see it right there, 20. And then what you do is you take this and you place it here, and then you take a look at it and you go over here. Now, one thing you're going to notice right here that may be a little bit confusing a little bit there is as you take a look at the scale, it actually goes up to, it starts right here, you've got 0 right here, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so each one of those numbers actually represents 10. Okay, so that should be a little bit confusing, okay, but if you did it all the way down here, you'd be running into bigger numbers, so that's just how to do it. It's been that way forever. So anyway, so you got 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet. Okay, so 40 feet is that right there. Does that make sense? Okay, so even though you do not see the 0, that's what it is. It's 40 feet. So you got that going on. Now, the next thing that we have, just to show this again, and you guys are going to be doing this in a minute here, I'm going to place this right here, and I'm going to place this right there, and this dimension is supposed to be 126. So we take a look at this one right here. Same kind of thing, 126 feet, go all the way down here, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so what's happening right now is you're able to use this to capture any data that you need to. Now, I've got a big roll of plans over there, which we're going to take a look at the architectural dimensions. But when you're working with a plan like this, it's always a good idea to get familiar with it and know what's going on right here. So what I did right here is I prepared this for you. And what we're going to do is I want to just have you guys look over this and just get a familiarity with it. And so what I'm going to do is, let's see here. So first of all, just hand these out. And then the others on this. So All right, more. All right. All right. You, oh, these are the architects there. Okay, so there is a plan. You completed on, and then there's an engineering scale. All right. Okay, now there are. You guys. And what I want you to do, as we take a look at this, is just take a look at the dimensions that are on the plan and verify that you can get the same result as you're taking a look at it. That's the big thing right now, is verify that you can get the same result. So rotate the scale until you're actually seeing the 20-foot dimension, and I'm going to just have you guys take a look at this now. So let's take a look at this and just verify a couple of the dimensions, okay? And as you do this, you're going to notice, so check out that 40-foot dimension, the overall dimensions, the lot dimensions. Check out the 40-foot dimension, check out the 126-foot dimension. Does anybody see anything that's maybe a little bit strange about the 126-foot dimension? Anyone see anything about that? Yeah, it seems a little bit short, doesn't it? Now, here's the thing, is you take a look at this right here, it's 126 right here, but if you take it and actually put it out to the sidewalk, it's 126 completely. So that is something that I can't really explain, because it shouldn't have been an error, but that's something that I see right there. The rest of it is right on. Okay, let's do one other thing here. Okay, so just check out a few of the dimensions and make sure that's making sense. If this is not making sense to anybody, please ask. I want to make sure this you feel confident with this, because this is something, it's a skill that you're definitely going to be using, and later on I'll put some things together so you can actually work with it. But I want you to get a little bit of hands-on with this right now. There shouldn't be too many surprises. You take a look at this. Okay, Armando, making sense? Okay. All right, let me ask you a question now. Okay, check this out. I want you guys to do this. I want you to get this measurement right here, and I'm not going to measure this. I want you guys to do it. I want you guys to measure right here from the sidewalk. Measure from the sidewalk to this back wall of the house. This is the rear wall of the house right here. Right above it says 17.3. Measure from the sidewalk to there and tell me, what is that dimension? What do you come up with? Yeah, 73 feet. That's pretty good. Okay, good. Anyone, is anyone finding anything besides 73 feet? Looking pretty good. Walmart, that working okay for you? You good? Casey, working okay? Okay. So that gives us that right there. Now, there was this metal shed in the back. Okay, we're gonna do one more thing right now. What I want you to do is get a measurement from the back of the house right here to the actual go right to the lot line, not the fence, but to the lot line. So go from right here to the lot line and tell me, what do you come up with there? Yeah, on code 53, okay? So anyway, as you take a look at this right now, you're seeing that you're able to get a really good idea as far as what's going on right here. So this stuff's all scales. So that's the first thing right here. Okay, let's do this. You guys can go ahead and let's see here. Yeah, I'll take those back in right there. Let's handle the back in. Let's take those back in, and I'll probably use them for something else. Just handle these back in, and we are going to yeah, so now you got an idea here. So that's good. I wasn't sure what you guys had or what the order is. I know you guys did some work with scales, and so that's a good thing. So here. Thanks, sir. And please, thank you. Yeah, all right. Good. Yeah. All right. Very good. Okay, now for this next one, we're not going to take a look at architecture scales. Now, have you guys also worked with architectural scales? No. Okay, let's do this then. All right, everybody, come on up here. I want to try this one. It's the same idea. Grab a scale on the way over. These are the architect scales. Grab an architect scale on the way over. And I want to show you how this works here. Now, when I first got into using scales, I was actually using just architect scales, that's what I was doing, because I was a CAD guy and I was actually a facility guy. My background is doing primarily facilities, but
This is a set of architectural plans right here, and these are actually elevations, okay? So when you take a look at a set of plans like this, what's happening right here is it's something a little bit different. Like what's going on right here is this is actually the Fairport. Anyone went to the Fairport here? Okay, well then over here with the Fairport, what you've got going on right here is you have these different elevations. This is the vocal music room. They've got an amazing music program over there. But anyway, this right here is an elevation. So an elevation essentially means that when you take a look at a wall straight on, okay, you're not looking at any perspective, just like straight on, what would that be? That's how that would be recorded. So in this particular one right here, it actually tells you what the dimensions are that are going on right here. So to give you an example right here, this dimension right here, where it says 16 feet, that's coming from the edge of the door over to, this is like a folded type of, well, actually 16 feet is here. So that's actually coming to the end of this panel right here, whatever that is. It's kind of arbitrary. But what you're going to want to do with this is you always want to take a look, and this scale right here, if you rotate this thing around, you got a 3/4 inch scale, 3/8 of an inch scale, you got 1.5 inch, you got 3, you got a 1/8, you got 1/4 inch, you got 1, and you got 1/2 inch, 3/32, 3/16. So it's a little bit goofy. There's a lot going on. However, you also have just your standard, just a ruler right here as far as that goes. So you've got this going on. So what's going on right here is each one of these operates in a different way. So what you have to do is to decode something like this, is you have to first of all take a look and see what does my sheet tell me right here. So when I look at the sheet right here and I take a look at this right now and I take a look at what the scale is, it says scale as noted. So what that means right here is there is not necessarily one master scale here because there's so many different views. Since there's different views, there could be different scales for each one. Okay, so you have to pay attention to that right there. Now this one right here, this is 1/4 inch equals a foot. This is 1/4 inch equals a foot. I think they actually all are. 1/4 inch equals a foot. There may be an outlier here. 1/4 inch equals a foot. 1/4 inch equals a foot. Okay, so let me give you an example here as far as how this works. Pick a really easy one. This one right here is 8 feet. Now, what you would do right here is you first of all determine what it says here. It's a 1/4 inch equals a foot. So you get your 1/4 inch scale here. 1/4 inch scale is going to be right here. Now, the 1/4 inch scale, I'm going to take this, just going to show you how this works. With the 1/4 inch scale, whenever you work with these scales, you always orient it from the 0. Okay, so first of all, it says 1/4 inch right here, and then this is 0. That's the first one here. And then there's a little scale. Now, the scale here actually has these little markers. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 12. There's 12 hashes right here. 12 different marks. That means that each of these little tiny lines represents an inch. So if I take this right here and I put it right here, since there are no inches, I know there's not because it says 8 feet. If I take this and put it right to here, can you guys see that? So take a look right there. Can you see that? 8 feet right there? That makes sense? So what you're doing right here is you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, see how that starts here and ends there? Does that make sense? Okay, go ahead and just put your scale on there. Just you can start. You just put it right on there. Start with your 0. Start with your 0 right here. Just put it on there, and you'll see that it comes right up to 8. So get your 1/4 inch. Let's see here. May have to flip it around because they. Yeah, okay, that's the one right there. Yeah, so start over this side. So put your 0. Now the 0 is right up to here. Check this out. That goes right to there. So see how that goes right there? And then this goes right down like that. And then when you get those perfectly, see how the lines are perfect at 8 feet?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, 0. Okay, and that's 8 feet right there. Okay, so that's how that works. All right, go ahead and give that a shot. Make sure that makes sense. So you're always going to align it. Basically, in this particular case, since we know, because it tells it's 8 feet, we just want to verify we got the hang of this right here. So you want to make sure that it's going 8 feet right on top of it. That's happening right there. And that, you put that in right there. That's the right foot dimension right there. Yeah, just go ahead and try it one at a time, guys. Just make sure you got that. That makes sense. And then we'll try one of the ones that's got a little bit of some inches on it. Does that make sense? All right. So this one is a little bit because you got fractions and so forth, it's a little bit different as you're working with the architect scale, but it's the same idea. Just got to count it. Make sense, Casey? Okay, now let's take a look at another one here. Now, what we're going to take a look, now this is a 46 inch, this is just 46 feet rather. So I'm going to take my 1/4 inch right here. I'm going to take it right here and put it right to there. When I bring it right to there, that's down 46, comes right up to 46. So it goes all the way down from 0 all the way to 46. Now over here, just to pick up something a little different, we'll do this 36'5". Now the 36'5" dimension starts at this hashtag, this hash mark right here and goes over here. Now this is where this gets interesting because what's happening is out in the field, back in the day, we didn't have these newfangled computers. We had to do everything with a scale out in the trailer. And that's how it worked. So you'd be out in the trailer and basically these guys were just really good at getting measurements just like that. So this is what you do. You go like this and you find this and you say, okay, so right now you find this about as close as you can get. And you say, okay, well, this is pretty much right there. That's 36 feet right there. And then when you bring it down here, you kind of measure it onto here. And then you count these little hash marks down here. It goes 3 to 4 to 5. Okay, so it's 36, goes all the way here, and then the little extra right there, you have to go in this direction. So as you're working with this, you've got to kind of take it, and you got to take it like this. You say, okay, well, that's not getting what I need to be right there. So you pull it down to the next biggest mark, and then it's 36 feet, and you count the ticks, the inches right there is 36 feet and 5 inches. So try that one. Try that 36.5 there, Ethan. And I'll pick another one over here for you guys, over here on this side. Let's see here. Yeah, give that a shot. And let's see here. Try this one. Try this 10'8" one right here. Try that 10'8" one. Just to show how that works. And so I got this 1/4 inch. So what I would do is, first of all, I would kind of find out where it goes. And when I find it's 10, and then I got some remainder there, then I just count how many inches are here. So the middle is 6, 7, and then 8. So it's 10 foot, 8 inches. All right, that's how that works. So try that. Just see if you can make sense out of that. Yeah, so you basically are going to take, we're doing this 10'8". Yeah, so what you want to do is you want to pull this down until you see the 10. Okay, so you get the 10 right there. And then what you do is you get that on there and then you count these little inches. Okay.
Would I start from this side?
You're going to start from this side. 0 and then over this way. And you should be able to count up to 8.
Yeah.
Yep, got it? Okay. Does that make sense there, Ethan? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. We'll give it a shot, just to make sure that you feel good about that. So this is the thing. As you're working with this, there are times that you really, all you're going to have is a set of paper plans. And so therefore, you will look a whole lot better off if you can just take out your scale and say, I got this, and kind of get a measurement, okay, instead of having to go back to a CAD plan or something. All right. So anyway, and when you're working in this realm, when you're working in CAD for construction, you're going to have to do both. You're going to have to go back and forth between, well, frankly, metric too. But for right now, we're looking at engineering, which is essentially always going to be intense. Okay, typically that's how it's going to be. And then what you're going to do is, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, all equals an inch. And then on top of that, when you get into this kind of thing, then you get into all the crazy scales that are in architectural scales. Then you're going to find it a whole lot easier when you get into using metric, because metric's actually a whole lot easier to use, because that metric's not like, 10 to 20 to 30 to 40, all increments of that. Okay, so that's an introduction to working with scales. I want to show you that right there. Let's put these back, and then we're going to get into tonight's stuff. And what we're going to do tonight, we're going to look at how to begin to make Revit make some sense in the area of actually making it do what we want. So when you're working with AutoCAD, AutoCAD is essentially a program that's fantastic for actually just drawing lines on paper. However, when you're doing Revit, you're actually doing walls and so forth primarily. So how do we work with that? Well, it's just about the same thing. So we're going to look at tonight, first of all, I'll show you where we're going to go. And then after that, I wonder if any of that got recorded. Let's see here. I don't think it did. Oh, well, life goes on. Let me do this right now. And let me make sure that we've got this new share going on. Yeah, this is what you've been seeing. Okay, so we did that. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, getting into this is, I'm going to close out of this. By the way, I graded you guys' papers. You're all doing great so far. And I'm going to open up, let's see here. Okay, this is where we're going. This is what we're gonna make. And let me get this back on here so you guys can see this. Okay, this is the kind of project we're gonna make tonight. Okay, now what we're gonna do is this actually has a trees. It's got some I basically just put just a very rough floor down here that's actually serving as a basis for us to put everything and orient everything. So essentially what you got going on here, you got a cedar shake type of structure. You got some fruit trees here. This would render actually quite nicely. And then on the inside, if I go ahead to my level 1, I take a look at this, and this is what we have right here. You've got a bathroom, and you've actually got the 3 elements that we used before. So this is what we're going to be making at the end of tonight. So getting into this right here, I want to introduce some things. And tonight, what you're going to make is not exactly what I did there. You're going to do your own thing. We're going to do like a sandbox type thing. It's going to be a freestyle. So you can kind of do anything you want to. It's just got to have a minimum of different elements we're going to put in there. And then we put this together, it might look something like this, it might be something kind of different. But we're going to be working on that tonight. So let me show you a few things. First of all, what we need to do, first of all, open up Revit. Let's go ahead and open up Revit. And I will, I think I'll just, go ahead and open up Revit. Now to open up Revit, do you guys know where to look to find Revit on the desktop? Okay. Let me know if you can open it up because it may tell you can't. So if it doesn't open up, you got to open up AutoCAD because there was a licensing issue. So hopefully that's been resolved.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm in.
You're in? Okay. Not in? Okay. Try opening up AutoCAD instead. Okay. So go into the engineering technologies folder and open up AutoCAD 2022. And when you open that up, it'll reset the counter. Do you have it open there? You have Revit open, Armando?
On the way around.
Okay. Colin, that working okay?
Yeah.
Casey, got it? Okay. And that's just a workaround that it's not very elegant, but that's how it is. Okay. That coming along there at all, Omar? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so for this one, what we have to do is there's a problem with the IT department. Okay, so the IT department, they got issue with the license. Since this doesn't work, what we have to do is we have to put it back over here. And we have to go to AutoCAD. This is just, you shouldn't have to do this. It's not your fault. This is the way that's it. So we got AutoCAD 2022, that's gonna take a second to come up. And after it does, the other one will come up. So we'll just take a second. And so every time you come in, you'll have to go through this step. Open up AutoCAD first. Have you ever used AutoCAD before? And so we'll open up AutoCAD. Goes out of here. And then we go back in here. The program apps, and then we're going to engineering technologies, we're going to Revit, which is right here. And we're opening up Revit 2022. And that'll open up. You just should. Okay, you guys all set? Allie all set? Okay. All right, so now we're gonna do here, let me turn down this a little bit here, you guys a little bit better. Okay, and then what we're gonna do here is we're going to learn how to do a couple things here. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna learn how to do some of the basic commands. We talked about how to move around in Revit. We talked about a pan, how to zoom, how to rotate around, how to look at the project browser and look at different views and so forth. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do some basic editing functions. We're going to do move, copy, rotate, array, align, mirror. We're going to do those things right now. Then after that, you're going to do a freestyle Revit type project, okay? Doing the different things we've talked about so far. Okay, Mobile, is that up and running now? Okay, good. All right, so now what we're gonna do is this. So first of all, I'm gonna close out of this. I'm gonna file, and I'm gonna close, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open up a project here. Now, the project you're gonna open is actually, well, let's just, you're not gonna find it there. So let's go back out here to Brightspace, and let's go to Revit Basics. And Revit Basics, you're going to see that there are some, I have some files here. You got align practice, array practice, copy practice, mirror practice, move practice, and so on. Can you guys see all these?
Yep.
Okay, go to move practice. Go to move practice, and then you want to download move practice. You seen this, Momar? Okay, let's download move practice, and that's going to download. Okay, so that is now a Revit file. Okay, so when that downloads, you're going to see the download shows up here. Now, in this case, you can just hit open file. When you open file, it's going to open up what I prepared for us to work on. Let's zoom into it. And this is what we have right here. You guys all see this? Colin, you see that okay? Casey, got that? Armando? Okay, now check this out here. I'm going to take a look at it in 3D just so you guys can get an idea as far as what we're seeing. And as I take a look at this, if I do this right here, you'll see that there's a desk right there. So I've got a desk in this floor plan just to see what's going on there. So I got a desk inside there. Now, what I want to do here is I want to see how to use the move command, okay? And what I want to do is I want to take that desk and I want to move it around. So back here, taking a look at level 1, I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to zoom into the lower left corner. Now, notice how thick this line is. This line is thick because we have a tool that's being used right now, which is right up here. Take a look at where my cursor is. This tool up here is called thin lines. When you click on this, it thins the lines out, okay? And that just enables you to go ahead and have a lot more accuracy. So click that so your lines thin out. Okay. Now notice that as you take a look at this, that this is actually right in the corner, like right here. Let me go ahead and turn on the annotate right here so you guys can see this. All right, notice that right here in this location, it's smack dab on there. I can keep on zooming in and it's going to keep on just showing me this right here. So that just shows me that. So that's perfectly there. So we're going to use what's called the move command right here. So to do this, we're going to start by clicking right on top of this desk. So just single click on it and it's going to turn blue. Single click on that and it turns blue. Now, what happened is when you single click and it turns blue, whenever you select an item in Revit, Revit gives you different editing tools. Okay, those are all up here. And the one that we want is this one right here. That's the move command. So what you want to do is you want to click on the move command, which is this one. So you go up here, you click on move. Now, hold on a second here. I want to show you something very interesting. The next thing that we do is actually really, really critical. Because did you see it said click to enter move start point? It also says down here, click to enter move start point. Well, what does that mean? You mean I can't just click anywhere? Well, it all depends if you want it to go a certain place, okay? So let's think about this for a second here. If I want this corner right here to go right up into this corner, I would want to select it right here. Does that make sense? I want to grab it right here so I can tuck it right in that corner. If, on the other hand, I were to select the midpoint here, that would actually allow me to place it there, but then it would straddle that wall. Is this making sense? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to choose this as our start point, and then we're going to pick this as our end point. But we're going to zoom really, so what? Just watch what I do, and then I'll let you guys try it. So I'm going to zoom into here. Now look how close I'm zooming in here. Now right up here is what I want. Now notice that as I pull my cursor here, I get an object snap. What's the object snap that I see there? Can you guys see that? It says intersection. Can you see that? Okay, so I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to tell it where I want it to go. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to bring it all the way up here. I'm going to zoom into here, and I'm going to click right there. When I do that, I've got it perfectly in the corner. So go ahead and get that moved from one corner to the other, just to see if you guys got that down. Did that work okay for you? That work okay? Womar, that work okay? Casey? Okay. Okay. All right. If it didn't work, let me know because I want to help. Okay. All right. Now, so we did that. Pretty simple. let's try this now. What we're going to do now, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take it, we're going to move it from here over to this location here. So now what we have to do is we're going to use the move command. Now, let me ask you, if I want to move it so that this corner is right up into this location here, should I select it here? Should I select it here? Should I select it here? Exactly. Okay, so I want to make sure I get this. So I want to pull it up here and make sure I get this. So I click on that at the intersection, pull it over here. I'm going to move it right so it's like this right now. So I'm going to drop it right there. So once I've done that, I've just moved it perfectly from one corner to another. Now, this may sound like it's kind of baby stuff. I'm telling you right now, this is, if it's off just a little bit, life is really difficult trying to find those little tiny little bits and pieces when it's like less than a quarter of an inch and you know it's off, okay? So this is where you just want to zoom in and make sure it's there. Okay, next thing. Now we're going to move it one more time. This time we're going to move it from this location. We're going to move it down into this corner. And I'm just going to let you guys go ahead and do that. And I want you guys just to kind of like pick the correct location. I'm not telling you what it is. And just go ahead and drag it down and zoom in so you're seeing it very clearly. So you guys have that moved from one location to another. Give me the thumbs up when you guys got it there. Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay, now we're going to do one more thing. Now we're going to use a midpoint. So I'm going to click on this, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my move command again. Only now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in here, and you'll notice that I can get the middle of the desk right here. I get the midpoint here. So I click on here and get the midpoint. I'm going to move it midpoint to midpoint. See that midpoint right there? There's another one there. So I click on there, and now I'm able to move it perfectly to halfway, okay? The midpoint allows me to select the midpoint of the object and also the midpoint of the wall. Kind of cool. So this is how you can get it exactly where you want to. That work okay, Casey? Guys all good? Okay. All right, and we're going to do one more time. We're going to take it from here, and we're going to move it again. And this time we're going to take this one. We're going to go from this midpoint right here and go over to here. And we'll go ahead and make sure that it's finding the midpoint here. And since that one's already aligned, it's going to find it. Whoop, now that one didn't find it. So I got to try it again. Go ahead and get it. There we go. And so you might have to do it once or twice. Okay. Once you've got that done, we're going to do it. We're going to do the top wall and then the bottom wall. So we'll use move again, going from here and just deliberately being repetitious just to make sure we're getting this. And there it is right there. You want to see that magenta triangle at your midpoint. We're going to drop that right there. Oop, I'm going to have to try that again. It looks like it came close, but missed it. So you just want to make sure you're just like that. Okay, and there we have it. And then we'll do it one more time. We'll go ahead and move it one last time from the middle of the desk all the way down to here. And we'll go to this triangle right there and drop it right there. Yep, and it kind of came off the corner a little bit. So we'll grab that again. And go like that. And so what's happening right there is we're seeing that we're able to use the move command. Is that, I think that's off. Try it again. Try it again. All right, try that again. Sometimes you got to move it away so you can actually see it a little better. Okay. All right. Okay. And there we have it. And then I'm going to just go ahead and put a couple dimensions on there. Oh, by the way, to check the dimensions, okay, this is just to kind of show you this. Look at this up here. This is how, once you put an object in, you can check the dimensions one of two ways. One is if you click right on the object, it'll give you the temporary dimensions. We saw this before. And the temporary dimensions then allow us to see what that dimension is, and we can change it if we want to. So in this particular case, it says 10 feet. So let's say I want to type in 15. It moves it so it's 15 feet over. So that's one thing you can do right there. The other thing you can do is you can actually use this right here, which allows us to actually put a dimension on there. So if I go right here, this is my align dimension. I click on this side and then on this side right there, that's 10 feet going to the there. You can do the same thing from here over to there, and that's 10 feet like that. That makes sense? So you can go ahead and put your dimensions down. Now the dimensions that we have right there, Those dimensions that we have that are black, they're permanent dimensions. They are now identifying, they are now measuring this. So the actual temporary dimension usefulness is not here. So what you do here, that is a temporary dimension. This is a permanent dimension, and there's a difference. Now, right over here, this is showing up as a temporary dimension, so you could actually edit it right there. But the black dimensions, you see them right there, those are just, those are basically essentially just labeling the distance. Is this making sense? Kind of, sort of? All right. All right, let's do this. Let's close out of here. Just go to File and choose Close. And you want to save changes to move practice, go ahead and say, yeah, say yes. And then what we'll do is we're going to open the next one. We're going to go to, we're going to download the next one. So let's back out to Brightspace. Now back out to Brightspace, there is under Revit Basics, there is another exercise here. And this one is actually down here. It's called Copy Practice. So let's go out to Brightspace and we're going to pull in Copy Practice. So let's go to Copy Practice and we're going to go out to Brightspace and we're going to download that. And then once it shows up here, we're going to double click. Yeah, question?
Save it?
You can save it. That's fine. And then we'll just go to Copy Practice. We're not going to be handing these in. This is just to get familiar with it. So don't worry about that. Now this next one, we're going to Copy Practice. And Copy Practice looks like this. So again, we're looking at a floor plan. There's nothing in there. Can you guys all see this one okay? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to go over here, right up here. This is Component, right up here where I'm at right now. So go click on Component and you're going to see that the desk shows up right there. So let's go ahead and take the desk and we're going to bring the desk right down here to the lower left corner. And you just want to go ahead and slide it right in this lower left corner like this and click, and it's going to drop it right there. Press your escape key twice to end the command. And then you have your desk right there. Okay, you guys good so far? Now what we're going to do is instead of moving it, we're going to copy it. We're going to copy it so there's desk in each of the four corners. So let's do that. Now, let me show you how this works. Yeah, question?
I just got in, so.
Okay. All right, so what you want to do there, Armando, is you want to go here to the component right here. So choose component. And then when you do, you'll see a desk is attached to your cursor. And you're just going to go ahead and you're going to drop it right here in the lower left corner. And then when you do that, press your escape key twice.
Yep.
Okay, good. Now watch this. Click on the desk. Now the copy command is almost identical to the move command. The only difference is it lets you go ahead and to create a copy as opposed to moving it. So the copy command is located right here. This is what it looks like. It looks like one circle going to two. So I'm going to click on copy. And it says the same thing. It says, click to enter the move start point. So this is the same kind of thing we did before. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go here and I'm going to start it from the upper left corner here, grab the intersection here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to bring it up here. And I want to bring it right up here and drop it there. And at that point, I have just completed that. Press your escape key twice. And then I have a desk in my two corners like that. All right, so this is what we're going to do right now. We're going to then place this top desk right here. We're going to copy it so it's at the upper right corner. So I'm going to click on this again. I'm going to start the copy command. When you start the copy command, you have to think about what's my move start point. Well, or rather the copy start point is going to be right here. I'm going to go ahead and go over here. And I'm going to take this one. I'm going to copy this into the upper right corner like that. All right, so now you're going to have a total of 3. Is this making sense? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a desk into each of the corners, making sure that it's exactly in the corner using the copy command. And so this is teaching us right now to use different start points to make sure that the object goes where we want it to. Okay, now once you've got this, we're gonna lather, rinse, and repeat here. So I'm gonna grab this one now, and I'm gonna go to copy, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab this by its midpoint right here, right there. And I want to go ahead and grab the midpoint of this wall. And see that lights up right there, that triangle? I copied right to there. Hit my escape key. So I've got that. I'm going to repeat it over here. Just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing with these. We're going to copy these so that they're also going to be copied to this just like that. All right. It's just by a hair. Make sure this goes. There we go. And so again, you're just making sure that they line up. You may have to do it a couple times. That's all normal. And yeah, just trying to get it right in the proper position. And then when it lights up like this, you click and you're good to go. So what you've got right there is the ability now to perfectly place these desks by copying them and using different start points, okay, which are essentially the base point. That's how you handle it. Any question about this at all? Does this make sense? Okay, so this is how you're able to do this. Now, everything you're going to be doing in Revit is going to be going back to these basics right here. Okay, next thing, let's close out of that. Go to File and choose Close. And any questions before we move on? Yeah.
How did you get the top and the bottom on the middle again?
Okay, what I did with that is, so what you're doing right there, should have saved it. All right, so I got the component right here, and this one's right here. So to do that, what you would do is you click on this, and then to get it on the top and the bottom, you'd go to your copy, and then I'd make sure I grab this. See this triangle? That's the midpoint. And then when you go up here, you should be seeing another midpoint right there. When you see that midpoint, you click. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. And then when you get that, go ahead and close out of it. We're going to go to File and Close and save your changes. Yep. So now we've learned how to use Move. We've learned how to use Copy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to use Mirror. Let's go to Open. And we're going to do the same. Oh, actually, forget that. Let's go back to Brightspace. We'll go ahead and grab the particular file from Brightspace. So back out to Revit Basics. And this one is going to be Mirror Practice. So we'll go to Mirror Practice. And we're going to go ahead and download that. And once Mirror Practice is there, we're going to open that up. Okay, now when you go to Mirror Practice, it looks like this. You now have a cluster of 4 rooms, and there is one door with a tag on it. Okay, guys, you guys will see that? Well, are you seeing that? Okay, Casey, got that? Okay. All right, now what we want to do right now is we want to mirror this. Now, when you do a mirror, it's like a copy, except what's happening right here is you're making a mirror image, so it's flipping it as if it was in a mirror. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to take this this door. So to get the door, we're going to click on the door, and then you also want to get the tag. So to actually select the tag, hold your Control key down, and then click on the tag. And when you do that, both items will be blue. Got that okay? All right, now, to mirror it, watch this. Check this out. This is the mirror command. This lets us pick the axis. Now, there already is an axis, so we're going to be good to go. So choose Mirror Pick Axis. Pull your cursor right over here, and look at that. It finds that dashed blue line. Go ahead and click there, and boom, it gives you that. That work okay? So that's the mirror command. Press your escape key twice, and now we're going to mirror this whole thing. Just go ahead and pan it so it's over to the left, and we're going to mirror it so that it actually mirrors all the way over here. Now watch this. This is kind of cool. I'm going to select everything like this. To select everything, by the way, you can just do this. Click your mouse and just drag it over the object and just hold the mouse down. And then when you let it go, everything will be highlighted in blue. You guys got that? Now we're going to do the same thing. Watch this. We're going to go to Mirror, Pick Axis. I'm going to grab the top. I'm going to grab this right here. I'm going to click. And it's going to give me an error down here. That's okay. Just go ahead and click the X. And now you've actually got a mirrored set of rooms right there. To take a look at it in 3D, you can go up here to the default 3D view, and now you're looking at this right here. So now you're seeing that's how you're able to really quickly begin to create information here. Does that make sense? Okay, and so we went ahead and did that. So that's the mirror command. Any questions before we move on? That work okay, Muammar? All right, let's close out of this. Let's go to File and choose Close. Do you want to save changes to mirror practice? Yes, we'll save that. And okay, next one. We're going to go back to Brightspace. And back to Brightspace to Revit Basics. We've looked at Move, we looked at Copy, we looked at Mirror. Now we're going to take a look at actually how to rotate. Here's the rotate command. Let's go there. Rotate. And what we're going to do with the rotate command, we're going to go download, and we're going to go over here, a rotate practice. Okay. And I'm going to open that up. And it should look like this. How's this looking? You guys seeing that? Okay. So what's happening right here is we are actually taking a look at that floor plan, and in the front of it are some columns. Take a look at it in 3D. You take a look at it in 3D, you got some columns in the front, just like that. So what we've got is, okay, that looks good. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to change the appearance a little bit by rotating the columns. We'll do these one by one. There's a rotate command that lets us do that. So back to level 1, and I'm going to do these one at a time. So watch this. I'm going to click on this column. Go ahead and click on that column, and it's going to turn blue. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here and go to the rotate command. The rotate command looks like this. It looks like a spiral. So with the object selected, I click on rotate. And then what you do is when you pull your cursor here, you'll notice that it's trying to draw a line. It's always easiest to just pull the line like this so it's straight over the right. You guys see that? Pull that line straight to the right. You guys got that? Okay, then that's your beginning point. That's your starting ray. You're starting over here at the far right. So click and then pull your cursor up. And you're going to notice it gives you an angle. And you want to pull up to see 45 degrees. It should pretty much find 45 degrees, no problem. And then click, and you just rotated that at 45 degrees. Okay, that's how you use rotate. Does that make sense? Okay, press your escape key to release it. And you're going to repeat that same rotate command with the other column. So we'll click on this one next. And we'll go ahead and we'll go to rotate. And do the same thing. Start here. And rotate it to 45 degrees, just like that. And we'll just do these one at a time. And yes, there are ways to automate this, but for right now, I just want you to get the practice. Make sure you press your escape key when you're done. And we're just rotating all these. Like that.
Like type in the number?
You could type it in too. You could just type it in. Yep. And then when you're done, go ahead and go to 3D. And this is what it looks like. So now at this point, you're now seeing how Revit lets you go ahead and take these items and rotate them. And again, these are the basics right here. You're going to be using these over and over again. Any questions about that at all? Colin, that working okay? Okay, let's close out of there. We'll go to File and we'll go to Close. Do you want to save changes? We'll say yes. And that is how you would do that. Next one, we're going to do back to Brightspace. And on Brightspace, we're going to go to Revit Basics. And this next one we're going to work with is called Array. Let's go to the Array practice right here. So we'll go to Array. And we'll download that. Okay, we're going to open up the Array practice. And the Array practice looks like this here. Okay, now the Array practice is just like our columns in the last example. However, in this particular case, we've only got one column right here. And this column is actually, let me see how this is actually, how that's actually put together here. Let me just kind of check this out real quick. Make sure that we're here. Okay, yeah, that's actually, okay. This is actually, if you take a look at this, the column, its midpoint is actually centered on the center of the vertical wall line above it. Can you guys see that? Okay, that's what's going on right there. So we're going to make an array. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this object, we're going to make a total of 4 across the front. So click on this column. Click right on that column. And then what we're going to do is that column selected, there's a tool right here. It looks like 4 squares in a square pattern. It's called array. So let's choose array. Okay, and then over here, you're going to notice that you have a choice of different ways to do this. You've actually got the linear option, which is what we want. You want to uncheck group and associate. Right here, this little blue box, uncheck that. You don't want to group and associate it. And then over here, you're going to choose the number 4, total of 4. And then we want to tell it we're going to select the last location. So we're going to pick the first place and then the last place. So click on last and then watch this. Now we have to tell it where we're going to start from. So you take your cursor over the top of it. And when you put your cursor over the top of it, you're going to see a purple triangle right in the middle. We're going to click there. We're just going to drag it straight over to the right until we see it lined up, just like with the center line. See, let's line up with the center line now. Can you guys see that? When you see that, go ahead and click on it, and boom, there's your array. So you're able to create an array that simply. Again, multiple objects. It's like the copy command, only they're automatically spaced, and they understand I'm going to be this far apart from each other, a total of 4, and it spaces those automatically, so you don't have to do the heavy lifting on that. And just to show you what it did there, if I go here, and if I were to measure from here to here, that tells me that's 8.8'4", and this is also 8'4", and this also is 8'4", like that. And then you could also just go ahead and continue to do this kind of a thing, and then I could go outside to outside like this, and I got that. All right. Okay, any questions about that? Make sense? Let's close out of there. We'll go to File. We'll go to Close. And you want to save changes? Yes, we do. And we're going to do one more. We're going to open. Oh, I'm sorry. Back to Brightspace. And on Brightspace, there's one more under Revit Basics. And this one is right down here. This last one is, we looked at Rotate. The last one is Align. So let's go up here and choose Align. Align Practice. And we'll download this one. And these are the basics. The align command lets us go ahead and do precisely that. Align with different, in this case, it's going to be some reference planes. That's what we're going to do here. So when that comes up, we'll open it up. And the align looks like this here. Okay, so this is what we have going on right now. So now what we want to do is we want to take this desk and we want to align it with these different reference planes. So watch how this works right here. I'm going to click on this, click on the desk, and the align command is right here. Align command. So the align command works like this. You start the align command, and then you select what is not going to move. So this line is not going to move, and this is going to move to that location, just like that. So you pick what doesn't move, then you pick what does move. Now I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go over here and go to pick, I'll pick this wall right here. And I'll pick the top, and that moves it like that. And I can click here and click there, and it moves it there. And then I could go ahead and click on this and click there and move it. And this is how we're able to simply go ahead and move it around. And if you need to start the command up again, you can. It'll just stay running if you do this. So what you're able to do is just simply move it around simply by using the align command, and it automatically aligns itself just like that. Again, you select what doesn't move, then you select what does. Any questions about that at all? Okay. All right. Now we're going to get into that. And I've kind of reached a point where I realized that at this point, I want to give you guys a chance to kind of stretch out a little bit on this, okay? To do something and to make it your own, okay? So at this point, you're going to be doing the sandbox. Now this one, I've got a few parameters that I want to be done, but other than that, everything's in the project. It's got windows, it's got doors, it's got a toilet, it's got a vanity, it's got a tub, it's got a roof, it's got a floor. I've also got some trees and so forth that are out here. You can also, if you want to put in other stuff, like let's say you want to go out and you wanted to, we talked about before how to take a look and find other content. Like for instance, let's say you want to find a car or a truck, and you want to pull that in, you could do that. So we're going to go ahead and work on this right now. So let's close out of this, and we are going to start the project by looking at Brightspace, and I'm going to describe to you what we're going to do here. So we're going to close out of this. We'll save the changes, and we're going to go out here. And again, let me show you what it's going to look like when you're all done. Now, this is my version of it right now. And this is just what I did. And I kept it really kind of simple. You do not have to keep it this simple. You could go a little bit more crazy with it. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and create walls. In this particular case, it's actually got outside sided walls. And then as I take a look at level 1 here, I've actually got interior walls here too. So remember, you can choose the walls. We talked about the different walls that are available. So we'll go ahead and we'll kind of get this started for you guys just to make sure it makes sense. And then we'll kind of move into here. Now, the other thing we did is we actually brought in some content here. And the content that we brought in is down here under planting. So under planting right here, let's say I want to put in a Japanese cherry tree. I can take this and drag it over there and drop it right there. And that easily, I then have my Japanese cherry tree, and I can just go ahead and rotate that around, and there it is right there. And so this is how we're able to go ahead and take this content and move it around and to kind of like make it look like something. All right, so here's what you're going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. I'm going to file and close that. And do you want to save changes? I'm going to say yes. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to go back out to Brightspace. And on Brightspace, over here under Revit Basics, there is a template that I prepared. And the template that I have for you guys is actually called right here, Revit Sandbox 20241. Revit Sandbox 20241. That is an RTE file. That's a Revit template file. Now for this one, you don't want to double click on this one. I'll show you what you want to do for this one. So click on Revit Sandbox. This is the template file. And you're going to go right here and you're going to click on download. Now, the fact that it's got a file extension of RTE means that's a Revit template. It's not a Revit file. So click download. So we're going to download the Revit Sandbox. Okay, so now once we've done that, that's going to serve as our template. So this is how we go about making this happen. You don't just want to double click on it just because it's going to mean one more step. Okay, so we don't want to do that. So rather than do that, let's go to Revit and I'll show you what you want to do. You want to find that template. So to do this, we're going to go over here to New. You want to click on New in Revit. And then it says what template you want to use. Well, now we're going to browse. We click the Browse button, and we're going to go find our downloads. Now, the easiest way to do this is go out here to your desktop, which is right here, and go to your downloads, which is right here. And then you're going to go up here and go to Revit Sandbox. Right there, Revit Sandbox, and click Open. And it shows up right here. And once you've got that, you click on OK. All right. And now that you got this, you guys should look like this. You guys will see this right here, this template. Now, what you're going to do now is you are going to start by doing the exterior walls and any kind of shape that you want to. Just to show you how this would work, let's go up here and choose wall. And when you choose wall right here, it says right here, cedar siding wall. Okay, so this is how we're going to start this right now. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make a rectangle out of this. Now to make a rectangle, remember you can go here and you can choose rectangle. So I'm going to pick rectangle and I'm going to pick 2 points. Pick a point here and pick a point like that. Now once I've done that, I'm going to click I'm going to hit my escape key. And I'm going to take a look at it in 3D and make sure that it went on the outside. Oh, and it didn't. Mine didn't. And it looks like I left this in here too. All right, so if you see a roof in there, just delete it. Looks like I didn't delete that earlier. Yeah, that didn't come out right. So that didn't come out so good, so that's okay. If it does this, you can actually take the walls and flip them. Did you guys get the same thing where it kind of like, okay, let me show you how you're able to take those walls. This happens, okay? This happens from time to time. So let me show you how to fix it. So you're going to want to click on, let's click on this, on one of the walls, and then you right click and you're able to do this, change walls orientation. You guys see that? You right click and choose change walls orientation, and it flips the wall to the other side. Does that make sense? You guys see how that worked? And you're going to do that for all 4 of the walls. So click on the walls one at a time, go to change wall orientation, and it's going to do that. And that lets you go ahead and fix it like that. And then we'll go here, do this last one right here. Change walls orientation, it does that. Now, when you're done, it's going to look something like that there. All right. Does that make sense, you guys? Got it?
Are we using the same wall as you or are we picking around?
You want to use the same wall. That's going to give you a nice cedar shake wall right there. So go ahead and use that one. And then as you use that one, you want to make sure you change the wall's orientation. Now, the other thing that once you got that, you can change the size of it by going back to level 1. Remember what we learned about temporary dimensions. So what we're going to do, let's just make this 25 feet by 25 feet to make it manageable. So click on the top wall and change that to 25 like this. And then we'll do the same thing. We're going to grab the right over here. And we'll make that 25 feet. And so once that's 25 feet by 25 feet, it looks like this. We go back to 3D and we have something that looks like this right here. How are we doing so far? You guys doing good? All right. Now, I'm going to let you guys kind of go at it now. Let me just describe the project to you, and this is what you're going to do now. So back over here to Revit Basics. Here is the project, okay? I'm going to describe it to you. Let's see here, the Revit Sandbox file. Let's see. Yeah, okay, and the Revit intro is Sandbox here. Okay, this is what you're going to do here. This is where you're going to actually submit this right here. So this is the Revit Sandbox. It's a simple house freestyle. Now you can do anything you want with it. I just got you started. You don't have to make a square house. You can make it a little different, but you're going to complete a simple house with walls, a roof, a floor, and at least 2 doors and 4 windows. Now, I am going to basically just kind of let you guys figure this out. If you don't know how to do something, there's help files. There's actually little movies that tell you how to do it. And I'll show you how to access that. But this is something you can do. So you're going to create a simple house with walls, a roof, a floor, and at least 2 doors and 4 windows. Include interior walls. You want to make interior walls. Design a bathroom and place a tub, toilet, and vanity like I did. You want to load trees and a vehicle. And when you're done, you're going to submit it as Revit Sandbox with your last name. Okay. So what that means right here is you're going to do this right now. You're going to begin to try to put this together. Well, you're going to put it together. And let me show you something here, because part of this right now, I want you to see how to find these things. So if you go here and you're saying, oh, I just can't remember how to do a floor. Well, if you just put your cursor right there on floor, it's going to come up and it's going to tell you basically how to do it. Okay. And then I'll show you real quickly what we did before, but you go to floor and you go to floor architecture, and then you can choose the floor you want. There's a generic 12-inch filled. There's also wood joist, 10-inch wood finish. Now this one, watch this, what we're going to do here. I'm going to go to my wood joist right here, and then I can just simply create a rectangle right here. So I create a rectangle, and I go from the upper left down to the lower right like that. And then whenever you're completing either a roof or a floor plan, you click the green check mark, and then it gives you this kind of a thing. And then when you take a look at this, it's going to start to look like that. So that is what you want to do right now. So I want you guys to kind of think this through and just kind of take ownership of it and just start to try to figure out how to do this. Now, remember, we learned last week how to do a roof. Your roof can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. You can make it sloped, you can make it flat, however you want to work it. I'm not going to necessarily judge too much as far as like how buildable it is, but I just want you guys to stretch out and use it. Yes, question.
How do you get like grass around it?
Okay, to get grass around it. What you would do is once you've got that, if you go back to level 1, if you zoom out like this, you would go here and you go to floor. Okay. And what I would do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to change it to earth. See this right here? Okay, I got earth. And then I'm going to make a rectangle. Now watch this. This is kind of cool here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just create a rectangle like that. And I'm going to hit my green check mark. And it's going to say it doesn't like it. It says highlighted floors overlap, but that's okay. See how that's green though now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now the thing is, when you take a look at it in 3D, your floors actually do overlap. So now what you have to do is that grass actually has to be lower than your other floor. It just makes sense. So you click on it. So click on the grass like this.
In 3D.
In 3D is going to be easiest. And then you go over here to your height offset. Your height offset is really important because what that lets you do right now is you say, okay, I got a floor. Do I want it to be at the same level as the other? And since this is grass that's underneath it, no, I want it to be down 1 foot. So you type in -1, -1. And when you do that, it essentially gives you grass that's underneath it now. Does that make sense? So now what you're able to do now, this gives you something to kind of like orient yourself. And then you can begin to put in trees and so forth around it too. The last thing I mentioned is you need to bring in a vehicle. let me show you how to bring in a vehicle, okay? Because we went over this last week, but I want to just kind of go over it one more time. So what we're going to do is let's go back to level 1. I'll show you how to pull in a vehicle. So to pull in a vehicle, by the way, you can pull in anything this way, but I'm just going to show you how to do a vehicle. So to do this, go over here to your, go to your insert tab, insert, and then over here, you want to go to load Autodesk family. You guys see this right here? Yep. Yep. And then you got load Autodesk family. Now, we looked at this last week, and this is where you're able to go out. Ooh, do I have to load? Do I have to? Oh, come on, really? Do I have to do that? I hope I don't. Load Autodesk family. Okay. Okay. Looks like it's not gonna let us do that. Okay, forget that part. Why did it work last time? Didn't this work for you guys last time? Last week we loaded some content, didn't we? What's that?
I don't think they're around this.
You didn't do this. Okay. All right. Then, okay. I'll tell you what, don't worry about that part. The rest of it's all loaded up. So forget the truck. I can load it up myself. But the thing is, I don't want to screw up the licenses here. So, okay. So for right now, let's just go ahead and get working on this. And, when you're done, you're free to make sure you save it. You want to save it to your own thumb drive, and then you want to upload it to Brightspace. And that's all it is for tonight. Okay. So make this as complicated or as simple as you want it to be. And, but these are the requirements. Here are the requirements. Let's go over that again. I want to make sure you guys are clear about this. Okay, this is over here on the Revit Intro Sandbox. This is the Sandbox project. Complete a simple house with walls, a roof, a floor, at least 2 doors and 4 windows. Include interior walls. Design a bathroom and place a tub, toilet, and vanity. Load trees. You don't have to do the vehicle. So let's go ahead and work on that. And I'm going to just start working on this myself right now.
Do we only have one size door for now?
I think I only put one out there. Yep. And the thing is now you can load, can you load another one? I'm not sure if you can or not. Yeah, it looks like it's, yeah, you just got the one door. So that's all you got. So just use what you have for this project. And that is what we're going to do. Yep. Yeah, I kept it real simple.
What's the bathroom stuff on there?
it's under families. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see families, and then you'll see plumbing. Plumbing fixtures. You guys want some furniture?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see here. Look up here under there's desk right there. I don't, okay, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do for that. You can actually, let's see here, trying to think if there's, yeah. No, I'd like to do that. There's a couple different ways to download that kind of content. Let's see here. Let's see. Try the easiest way to do it. Yeah.
Question, how do you rotate the, like, the vanity and stuff in the bathroom? Because I remember there was like a really easy way to do it, but I can't remember what it was.
Okay, for the vanity, click right on it. And then just press your space bar.
Okay.
Yep. And then, yeah, as far as that, putting some furniture in, I didn't include any furniture as far as that goes. I thought you'd be able to grab the stuff tonight. So yeah, just have to do without it for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
How do you like move a door a certain distance? How do you do that then?
okay, start the move. Okay, click on the item.
Mhm.
Okay, and the thing is now, okay, just click right on it. And then when the temporary dimensions show up, okay, now when the temporary dimensions
Oh.
show up, you can actually just type it and type the distance you want it to go. Make sense?
I was choosing Virginia. All right, perfect, thank you.
All right.
We like to look at the project before submit it.
Do you feel good about it? Submit it. As long as you got make sure you got the basics there and as long as you do, you're good to go.
What's to be the name for it?
What's that?
The name for the file?
The name. Okay, that's actually right here on Brightspace. What you want to do is you want to name it right here, Revit Sandbox dash your last name. All capitals. All right? Now, if you guys have already downloaded, your if you guys has anyone downloaded Revit yet? Anyone done that? Okay, if you've done that, if you want to go in and just log in using that login that they gave you before, that login name and password, you can do that and just go in like I'm doing it right now. And then you can grab this content like I am.
There are desks, chairs, so that it gets down. Okay. So it kind of looks stupid. I thought you were a bedroom or something. Because like I made a bedroom, I don't have a bed to put there. Yeah. Is there a way to get like a specific kind of truck, or is it just like basic?
This is just content that you can though. Yeah, for sure. Like for instance, yeah, you could, I don't know really, I've not looked for vehicles really, but the thing is, if you were to go out and you were to do like Revit, model, and then whatever you want, like let's say you want a Tesla, you could say Revit Tesla models, and if it's out there, you could download it. Yeah.
Little brother's in like a civil engineering class, and for his assignment, he had to get one, so he like got like an old thirties like Chevy pickup and tossed it right in the garage.
You can do that. And the thing is like for instance, I just put this one in right here and all I did is for doing this right here. So I just got a little bit of that. Yeah, okay. So what you got going on right here is that, what I did is I went out to here to, Lotus. I want to insert, because if you want to get some furniture, you can go to load Autodesk family here. And then when it asks you for a, sign in, just give it the sign in that you got before your Autodesk sign in, and you can download any of this stuff. And so, yeah. But but I will say this right now, is there a Tesla Revit model? I'm gonna take a look real quick. Because there may be.
So when it says sign in, we just put like our school.
Yeah, so you put in your your Monroe cc.edu. Okay, whatever you used before. Do you have an Autodesk ID yet? Did you make one yet? Okay, did you download Revit yet?
On my personal computer.
Okay, if you don't have it, okay, you could make you could just set up an Autodesk account right now, okay? And what you do is you go in and so what you would do here is this is what you would do. You just go to Autodesk .com right here. And then what you do is you can go right here and under sign in, this is where you'd sign it in, or you'd go to create account right here. And when you create the account, you would put in your student ID and then just remember your password. And once you've got that, you're good to go. You can download all the content you want.
Gotcha.
Yep. And so make sure you use your student ID though, because that's how it's going to be keyed. And then later on, when you start to download your software for free, you'll use the same thing. Yep.
Wait, how do I make it so like my grass is like this, but my building's like over on this side, like it's not square?
Oh, it's not totally square, your grass. So it doesn't look like this then, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you're like, my building's not in the middle of the
Yeah.
grass.
Oh, okay, well, go to level one, first of all. Go to level one. Okay, now you see how my grass is kind of like nicely, okay, so yours doesn't look like, okay. So what you want to do is go to level one. Are you guys seeing the grass right now?
Yeah.
Okay, click on the grass, double click on it, double click on the grass. Now, when you double click on the grass, you'll see this magenta line. And then you just take the magenta line and just make it larger or just move it like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's how you go ahead and make that happen.
Is there a way we can make like the building like can we drag the building off? Or
Probably best to drag the ground. You know, if the ground's not where you want it, just delete it and put new ground in. Because your ground, you want to put your ground in. If you try to do it on 3D, that might be why it's not working right. You want to put your ground in at level one. You know, level one is how it's supposed to work. All right, have a good night. See you, Armando. So let me see what you got here.
How do you rotate, like, spaces?
Okay,
I'm still placing this, so.
Okay, press your space bar. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what you want, right? Yeah. Okay. And then,
I think I got it.
and then hit the green check mark when you're done.
Okay.
And, yeah, take a look at it in 3D. Yeah, okay, hit your escape key. Good, and, that's great. You got
I
it.
just changed every single dimension to 25.
What was that?
So I just changed every single dimension into 25, so it should be right in the middle now.
Can I get a driveway?
Oh, that's a good question.
Cause he didn't, he didn't have a. Wait, can we get a driveway in this or no?
You can do a driveway, yeah. It's the same thing. You, like, what you would think in terms of like, okay, if you have a driveway, the driveway is gonna sit on top of the grass.
Yeah.
So essentially, here, I'll pull it in, I'll show you how this works. So if you want to put in a driveway, I would just go right here to your architecture. Thanks, Colin. And then you're gonna go over here and you're gonna go to floor. And floor architectural, and then you're gonna change this to generic 12-inch fill. That's a concrete floor. And then what you would do is just make a rectangle. So for this one, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make something like this. All right, hit the green check mark, and then I got that. And then when I go to 3D, see that right there? All right, so what you're doing is that just sitting on top. And so that's how you could do that. And then I'd take this and put that on there.
That's not bad.
What's that? It's a desk.
Yeah. I thought it was like everything.
And yeah, definitely make sure you save it. And then you want to upload it. It's called Revit Sandbox with your last name. all in capitals. Yeah, and click right on it, and then over here, scroll up to the top. Scroll up and the scroll bar there. This little scroll bar. And, okay, click where it says constraints. And then the height offset. and then the height offset. Yep.
It's in the, middle, and it's in the front.
You know, at least one of these should have that checkbox. Some.
Wait, try this. Oh, like that.
All right. On the other,
Wait.
good.
What are we naming this project again?
Yeah, look at Brightspace. This is called the Revit Sandbox project. So out here on Brightspace, there's a thing called Revit Intro Sandbox. And here's the name right here, Revit Sandbox space, your last name. And you want to go ahead and just upload that. And next week, we're going to start to learn about how to do a little bit further. We're going to review floors and roofs and ceilings and levels and other things and start to really build it out.
But I save it as a project, right?
You want to save it as a project, yep.
We're not doing the vehicle because we can't access it, right?
If you want to go ahead and use your login, you can. Other than that, don't worry about it. You're off the hook.
So it's that all of them rather, like it gives me an error message when I try to save it.
Does your viewer mode?
Or do I have to do another one?
Yeesh, yeah, well, you don't, okay, first of all, when you're in viewer mode, that means you can't save anything, which means you got to start all over. That's why, yeah, and so I think I can get you around here. Let me jump in here just for surgery. Hop up for a second here. I think we can get you there. What we'll do is we'll just start Revit, and you see, yeah, you always want to be careful not to use viewer mode, okay? That's what you're in right now. So what you got to do in that particular case to avoid that.
You know, oh,
is- all right, so what you have to do is you've always got to make sure that when you go into here, you've got your engineering technologies. And I wish they wouldn't even put this in there. It doesn't make any sense to have it here. But anyway, you see a Revit viewer, okay, and Revit. The two are not the same. But I think I hope we can get it there. I'm not sure if we can or not. We'll find out. Hopefully we can.
You go from the outer point of the wall
What's that?
for the roof. Do we go to this outer point of the wall?
Use this right here. That's your pick walls right there. And then go over here and you got a 1 foot overhang, you're good to go. And then just, yeah,
Pick the
that's
wall.
it. And then you pick the wall, yep, there you go.
3 minutes.
Okay, and then, okay, so this is what you want to do here. So I'm gonna go to new.
I just click check.
And when you're ready, yep, hit the green check mark, and then take a look at it in 3D and see what you got. Yep, okay, that's the hip roof. Everything's got a slope on it. And remember, we learned how to fix that. So if you click on edit footprint. This one, edit footprint, yep, click on one of the lines and remove, when you, click on one of the edges and then get rid of this, so, and then do the other side too, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do here, we're going to go over here, and we're gonna go to our downloads. And there's this. And we got that. All right,
Thank you.
have a good night.
And there's a way to extend this wall, if I recall.
Yep, you click on that and then choose attach top. And you grab the roof. Touch the roof,
Which part?
touch the bottom. There it is, now hit your escape key. Okay, now what we're gonna try to do here is surgery. Okay, and let's see what they're at. Well, yep. Yeah,
Could I just do it and then like email it to you or something?
you know what I'm gonna do, I'll just grade it right now. Since you got it pretty much done, right?
Yeah, just got,
Okay. I'll just give you credit for it right now, and the thing is that way you don't have to
just gotta do the roof.
just get it, put the roof on and I'll put a date on it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Well, now I know.
That looks better. Trees in them. I think I'm all done. I wish he told me. I'm saying that sucks, bro.
I wish you told me that. At least it's like not that big of a project, you know, like at least I don't have to like come back.
How do you know whether or not you're in viewer mode?
I mean, it's gonna be early, so I don't think it doesn't matter, but.
Oh, you must have accidentally clicked this. Viewer.
But like here,
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what else would activate it.
I'm gonna hit it. 'Cause then- so. That's weird.
No, that just does that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not it.
No.
What the fuck do you know, Jerry?
Are you?
No, because it let me save it.
Oh.
earlier. That's why I'm like, what's the difference between mine and yours? I mean, I don't have this.
You don't have those?
No.
Could that be when you do?
You didn't have you.
it?
Or done, my mistake. House, roof, floor, these 2 doors and 4 windows. Yeah, I'm set. Save.
Well, what's yours? Nothing the other, room. What's good, by the way? If you got it.
We picked the Revit, like the Revit Sandbox one without the numbers, right?
What's that on?
We're picking the one without the numbers, right?
Right,
These.
right. The one with the numbers is a backup.
Gotcha.
Is there any way like? Trying to get these windows to be like the same distance from the wall.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get this like put it in manually, but I also want it to be like, you know, like. Equal,
Yeah, okay, so equal according to the interior walls.
yeah, these two. That's why I just do this, I guess I can just do a middle distance to the side, and then.
Yep,
I don't know.
one of the easiest way to do it is, yeah, you can, a few different ways to do it, but, hit your escape key a couple times. All right, you can put in what's a reference plane, remember, putting those lines and putting where you want them. And then at that point, just put the lines where you want them. And then at that point, you can just kind of adjust them as far as where you want them to go. And then just, does that make sense? All right. Well, good, everyone.
X out of it, right? So it won't save it, right, or anything? No.
You can't save it, no. That's how that works.
Wait, can you, like, how do I know if I'm in viewer mode or not? Yeah. I don't-
It says viewer mode on the top. And so look at the other Revit that's there, and the Revit does
Oh,
not say,
Oh, you just
It
put
says-
into the wrong rep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see that.
you will not make that mistake ever again. All right, and I saw it, I'll give you credit for it, no problem. It'll look good. Good. Yeah, by the way, that happens every class I teach. Yeah, no, you're not the only one by any means, not at all.
Why is there a viewer mode? Like, what's the purpose?
I don't know. I don't think they should have installed it, honestly. I think it's a really, because I've had several students lose work like that. It's just, why? You know, why would you even do that, you know? So.
Do we need a ceiling?
Just the roof.
Yeah, and this project is worth 100 points, so. It's all good.
Are we supposed to make the roof how we did in the other one, or does it matter? Have a roof on it?
Just get a roof on there, however you want to do it. Yep. Thank you. Oh, thanks.
Then just like.
Oh. All right.
You're opposed down. Oh, you gotta double click it, like the edge.
Oh, yeah,
And I just changed all my dimensions to 25, so it would sit right in the middle.
I think I did like 15, 20, and 20, and 10. Look at that. What you put in 15? Right to the top. It didn't even say, so then.
I was gonna have a little. I was like, yeah, it's good work. I was gonna have a little like, I mean,
Yeah.
like a little sunroom, have peak and everything. I was like, yeah. Oh, I'll take a look. All right.
You say that.
What's your? That.
You said it's fine. Oh, yeah.
You said the roof can be whatever we want.
Yep. Sure enough.
Did you put your hard drive? I couldn't say, did you get your hard drive? No.
I'm just gonna download all the projects from Microsoft.
Zero. It's financial aid. Oh, orientation. I can jump fast. Doesn't have to.
Yeah, nothing else.
I was gonna say, it's, I go home after this, as well. The longer I wait, the better the traffic gets. You're the road, the more can speed.
I do find a whole lot. Mouth.
Oh, yeah, I used to.
Yeah.